the Mario Brothers, and plumbing's a game. We're not like the others who get all the fame. When your sink is in trouble, you could call us on the double. We're faster than the others, you'll be hooked on the brothers.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at our list of 20 things only Nintendo fans noticed in the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Okay, now you're just trying to make me feel better.
No. Is it working?
A little bit, yeah.
The Super Mario Bros. Movie is chock full of references and Easter eggs for fans to find. How many of these did you spot during your first watch? Which one was your favorite? Let us know down in the comments.
Yeah, well, I won't tell anyone. Good, please don't.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The disturbance in the shroom.
Behold, the King of the Koopas!
While the Mario movie's soundtrack holds a handful of sound effects from the games, the movie itself also takes a few familiar sounds from the games too. It's a good way to keep paying homage to the classics without relying solely on the score. One notable sound we recognized happens after Bowser's legendary ballad. When Kamek appears, he shows up with the same sound as the Magic Koopas in Super Mario World when they fire their magic spells at Mario. This sound effect also plays whenever Kamek uses his magic throughout the movie, just like in the game. Made for TV.
It's me, Mario! And Luigi! Are you tired of paying too much for plumbing? Mamma mia! That's why the Super Mario Brothers are here!
Granted, this was already given away during the movie's marketing campaign, but it's too good for us to leave off our list. Right after Bowser captures the penguins and obtains the Superstar, we're treated to a delightful callback to the 1989 animated series, The Super Mario Bros. Super Show, an entire commercial of the brothers' plumbing business with the show's theme song playing in the background. What really got our attention was the voice of their actress for the commercial. Unfortunately, this was not Jeannie Elias like most people had hoped, but Jessica DeKiko, who voices Pauline and has voiced characters from several other video games like Psychonauts and Kingdom Hearts 2.
Thank you, Super Mario Bros. It seems like the only thing you haven't drained is my bank account.
Best ringtone ever. Excited to have finally launched their business and shove it in their former boss's face, Mario and Luigi receive a call shortly after their commercial airs. Funnily enough, there are two references packed into this one phone call.
Hello, Super Mario Brothers!
First off, the ringtone itself. Anyone who grew up with a purple lunchbox that just so happened to play video games will recognize this as the famous boot-up song for the Nintendo GameCube. But if you didn't have one of those, perhaps you Wii owners recognize the ambiguous Mii avatar that represents the unknown caller.
Super Mario Brothers are in business! Woohoo!
A cameo for the ages.
What about the accents? Is it too much?
Too much? It's perfect!
Woohoo! Okay, I'm gonna trust you.
Since the movie cast reveal, we had known about Charles Martinet's involvement with the movie, especially given how much outrage there was over him not voicing Mario. Well, he comes in real close early on in the movie, twice. The first time happens after the commercial airs with a man named Giuseppe congratulating the boys before going back to playing Jumpman. Later on, he voices Mario and Luigi's father, who serves as a crucial turning point for the brothers to make their way into the Mushroom Kingdom and giving Mario a motivation for the rest of the movie. That's actually a pretty big role if you ask us.
You don't leave a steady job for some crazy dream. And the worst part, you're bringing your brother down with you.
Well, thanks, Dad.
Framed fame. Don't worry, we're just about ready to move on from the first few minutes of the movie. But one other detail that had us gushing were the pictures surrounding the pizzeria's TV. Each of the frames depicts a variety of fighters from the Punch-Out games like Glass Joe, Von Kaiser, Bear Hugger, Sandman, Piston Honda, Bald Bull, Don Flamenco, and even Little Mac and Doc. Funny enough, one frame picture feels just a touch out of place. Does that plain field look familiar to you? Well, it should, as it's the same field you see in the classic NES game Duck Hunt. Speaking of which, one duck in particular serves as the mascot of a restaurant that can be spotted before the brothers enter the sewers. A serious case of deja vu. Now this detail is very, very easy to miss, and once you notice it, you will never unsee it. After getting their first plumbing job, Mario runs off and passes through a small construction area. Seems like a normal part of the city, right? Well, look at the colors, specifically the arrangement of the yellow paint cans, street sign, and air vent above. That can only mean one thing: this is World 1-1, and the way Mario jumps to the Burger Castle flagpole only solidifies this notion. Still don't believe us? Then explain the 1-2 sign that can be spotted in the sewers later on. We'll wait. A souvenir from a distant planet.
Oh wow, we have hit the big time!
For their first job as a plumbing business, the brothers get a call from a couple living in a fancy apartment. On the surface, it seems like they just have a lot of fancy stuff. However, not all of it is just shiny junk. One artifact they have lying around is a glass figurine, and if you're a fan of Nintendo, you'll recognize what exactly that figure is. Yep, it's an adorable glass Pikmin. Perhaps these two are big fans, or maybe it was placed to drum up a little Pikmin 4 hype?
Found the problem.
A family pitfall. Family dinners, aren't they the best? With Dearest Dad putting in his 2 cents about the brothers' new business, Mario sulks to his room, dinner unfinished. Perhaps the most interesting part about this scene is seeing how Mario is as big a fan of video games as we are. We'll get to the stuff around his room in a sec, but the strangest piece of his fandom lies in the often forgotten Kid Icarus. Though it isn't the most popular Nintendo IP, nor the most popular of the NES classics, Kid Icarus has found a small and dedicated fanbase since its debut in 1986, and part of that is because of its unique visuals and sounds. You just can't mistake it for any other game. To see Pit get such a huge nod from Nintendo's #1 mascot is a huge delight, and the game's notorious difficulty serves as an excellent motif in Mario's supposed in-movie history of mishaps and blunders.
You're not bringing me down. You know what? What do they know, huh?
Mario, the Lylat Wars fanboy. One part of Mario's fandom that had everyone gushing with joy was not just the blatant nod to Kid Icarus, but another famed and long-forgotten franchise in particular. On top of Mario's TV sits a lone figure of the R-Wing, the same ship used by Fox McCloud and his cohorts in the Star Fox games. Though it's a little hard to tell which version this R-Wing might be based on. It's simplistic enough to say it might be based on the original Star Fox, but it's also detailed enough to guess Star Fox Zero or Star Fox 64 3D. Regardless, it has us begging for either a Star Fox movie or an animated series, assuming we're just never going to get a game again. Show me your moves! Another small detail we loved is in the same scene on the wall behind Mario. As Luigi consoles Mario, you'll notice an assortment of sports posters behind them. But look between their heads to see a blurred image of a familiar looking vehicle. Yes, this is a cropped poster of the box art for F-Zero on the SNES. Poor Captain Falcon, left in the shadows and forever blurred into Nintendo's past, only to be known as that guy from Smash Bros. A frightening foreshadow?
Huh? Mario? Mario?
Many props to Brian Tyler for his score. The Super Mario Bros. Movie incorporates many familiar tunes to create melodies appropriate for the different scenes. Aside from the classic Super Mario Bros. Tune we all know and love, this was the first major stint we noticed. As Luigi ventures deep into the forest, you may hear a small and faint bar that dips in and out of volume.
Where are you? Huh?
That bar is none other than the theme song to the first Luigi's Mansion. Many would believe this is somewhat confirmation of a spin-off movie, but that might be reaching a bit. A nice nod will suffice. Get ready for adventure.
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine.
Though we could have lumped this in with our entry about the movie's soundtrack, it was too prominent not to get its own entry. In both the scene where Mario meets Toad and the credits where Keegan-Michael Key's name is displayed, a very specific tune plays. Toad fans, this is absolutely the theme of our true hero, Captain Toad. Our movie version of Toad does hold a few of the same traits and skills seen in Captain Toad. Nintendo, just say the movie is happening. We're ready for adventure.
That is how you princess!
A hat for your troubles?
Excuse me. Excuse me, everybody! Coming through! This guy's brother is going to die imminently! Out of the way, please! Just trying to clear a path. That's all I'm doing. He's gonna be fine.
Going back to the Mushroom Kingdom for a hot second, there is another store that Mario fans both young and old will be able to spot as the camera follows Mario and Toad through the crowds. Not far behind them is a purple and yellow store called Crazy Cap, which should be familiar to anyone who has played Super Mario Odyssey. In this game for Nintendo Switch, Mario visits these Crazy Cap stores to purchase hats, outfits, and even power moons from the Toads. No surprise to see this chain establishment have a base of operations here in the Mushroom Kingdom too. Does this work? Mario's first visit to the Mushroom Kingdom is packed to the brim with references and details that help breathe life and humor into the world. We'll get into a couple more later, but this real-world joke might have flown past you. At one point, Mario and Toad go past a shop selling all kinds of trinkets. One Toad asks the shopkeeper if the item they're interested in works.
Does this thing work?
Yes, works great. You just have to blow into it.
For anyone who has owned a Nintendo 64, you know exactly what that transaction was about. Decades of lies.
Hey! Intruder! Stop him!
Remember all those times we were told by the Toads, "Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle"? We've spent all these years believing these jerks were straight up lying to us and trying to buy Bowser some time or something.
Huh?
Okay, so they're messing with you, and I don't like it.
Well, our beliefs were proven true when Mario tries to enter the castle. The two guards straight up lie to Mario and tell him to go look for another castle since they don't have a princess. Their damn smiles tell the whole story.
What princess?
I never heard of any princess.
Oh, wait, I did. Our princess, though, is in another castle.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You should try another castle, maybe. She ain't in this one.
Slot carts.
Well, what are you waiting for? Pick your carts!
When Cranky tells Mario, Peach, and Toad to go make a car, we knew exactly what it was time for. Mario Kart! And the way Illumination went about not only made total sense, but also was incredibly creative in how it transitioned. Our heroic trio approached their own stations with their own designated grease monkeys, pardon the pun, and used the slots to assemble their rides. The slot machine-like UI is exactly like the one used in both Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8. Additionally, you'll be able to spot a variety of kart parts featured in both titles. Did you spot your build? Cheating the track. During the Rainbow Road chase, Mario seems to quickly get a handle on drifting with his kart. His real display of skill doesn't come until after the Koopa General starts chasing him down. Mario attempts to divert the General away from Peach, Toad, and the Kongs by borrowing a famous trick featured in Mario Kart 64. In that game's Rainbow Road, there is a small window where you can jump off an early section of the track and onto the opposite end, essentially skipping half of the course. Though the movie version of Rainbow Road isn't as convoluted, clearly Mario needed to nail the speed and trajectory with that purple drift to jump onto a branching path. Have you seen this Koopaling?
Peach, you're so cool.
One question many fans have been wondering is, will the Koopalings show up in the second or third Mario movie? Well, one technically has, in a way, but it might signify their potential absence in future movies. Take a close look at Bowser's piano, and you will notice the piano is named Ludwig von Koopa, which is the name of the blue-haired, single-toothed Koopaling. Maybe this is just a simple nod, maybe Ludwig is a piano manufacturer, who knows? Either way, it was a neat detail that may or may not be pointing to the future of the Koopalings. Jam with me.
Sit. Jam with me.
Upon finishing that masterpiece of a song, Peaches, Bowser is rudely interrupted by Kamek, who comes bearing some troubling news for the King of Koopas. Bowser invites the sorcerer to jam with him, and the two play a very familiar tune. There is simply no mistaking the underground theme that plays across various Mario titles. From Super Mario Bros. To New Super Mario Bros., the tune has been used and reused across the franchise. So much so that it's almost impossible to have missed this during your first viewing.
Find out who he is and what they're planning!
I'm on it, sire. May I lift the cover?
Not yet.
A small numbers game.
That's why the Super Mario Brothers are here. To save Brooklyn.
And the Queens!
And your wallet.
Yes, we are rewinding back to the very beginning of the movie, to the pizzeria, one last time. Be honest, how many of you tried calling that phone number featured in the Brothers' commercial? Sadly, it does not hold any kind of Easter egg, but the commercial used for the movie's marketing does. Yes, you want the 929 number, as that is more specific to Brooklyn, Queens, and the other boroughs of New York, whereas the one featured in the movie is a general New York area code. Call 929-556-2746 to receive a message from Luigi that is also filled with a couple neat nods and Easter eggs. Should you try the 917 number, you'll get absolutely nothing. That website, on the other hand, is absolutely real, and every Mario fan should check it out for some more fun jokes and references. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.